Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. We're excited that you've joined us as we have a conversation. We found that a good conversation allows us to share what's on our mind, whether current events, what's grinding our gears, or our pet peeves.
It also allows us to share our top 3, a list of our favorite things on any given subject, most of which are highly opinionated. In closing, we share a good word. Solid friendships are encouraging. Even if we joke and give each other a hard time, our ultimate responsibility is to uplift each other.
Our goal is that you'll feel like you're part of the conversation, like you were in the studio with us, and that you feel encouraged after tuning in to our podcast. It's time to join the conversation.
Welcome to the show and welcome to our new sponsor, Frontier Forge Knives. We're really excited to have this sponsor on board with us because they are handmade right here in the USA.
With American-made steel.
American-made steel.
Right on.
Hand-forged knives, handmade sheaths as well, leather sheaths.
Nice.
With American Steel, a listener of the show and a supporter of the show, and now a sponsor of the show. So we're really excited to have them on board. Go to frontierforgeknives.com. frontierforgeknives.com. Check them out. They've got some knives that are already there for sale, but you can also have one custom made for you, which would make a very good heirloom or a gift for someone. And Father's Day is around the corner. It's
coming up, and this is also a veteran-owned company by a Marine Corps veteran who runs that with his wife.
Sweet.
So pretty exciting. They've if you check out any of their social media stuff, they've got tons of videos. He's doing a few videos every day of all the knives that he's making and the process that he goes through to make it. It's pretty awesome to see.
So go to frontierforgeknives.com. We'll have a link in the show notes of the description, and through his website you can link to all of his social media as well. He's very active there. Kind of shows you some of the knife making process, what he goes through. Really cool stuff. frontierforgeknives.com. Welcome aboard as a sponsor.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a pretty neat show for you today. Troy's going to cover what's on his mind. Quadrupeds, a form of quadrupeds.
Potentially. Are they all quadrupeds?
Our top 3.
We will see.
Our top 3 side dishes for a barbecue meal.
Yep.
It's that time of year.
This could get heated too.
Could it?
If you're wrong.
There's...
And then Matt's going to close us out with a good word. So, Troy, what's on your mind?
So, I've been thinking a lot lately about pests and vermin.
Congress?
Like mice?
Well, let me lead this off with a question. When you think of the word vermin, like what comes to mind?
Mice.
Mice? What about you?
Pack rats.
Yeah.
It could be raccoons. It could be possum. It could be foxes if they're getting into your chicken coop.
No, can't be foxes.
That's a vermin.
It's a predator.
Hey, that's vermin.
No,
It's vermin if it's messing with your chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could be. Well, what comes to my mind is possums.
Ooh,
okay.
Yeah.
I was on point.
Yeah, you were on point. You picked that one out. But I remember, this has been years ago, I used to shoot video. I was a video camera guy for the Shreveport Mudbugs hockey team.
Yeah.
Right? And they used to actually play the Wichita Thunder in the same league.
Yeah.
But we were at their training camp, and I was getting some B-roll footage for, like, just stuff that they play during the game. And one night, we were out at the owner's lodge. He had this really nice, lodge, hunting grounds and everywhere.
Yeah.
And
In Louisiana?
yeah, in Louisiana. And that night, so most of the guys that play hockey or on that team, they were all from,
Canada.
Upstate New York or Canada.
Yeah.
And so they get down here, and especially down in Louisiana, they see all these critters and just the swampland and everything. We even went alligator hunting that weekend. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But one night they were all getting on he had a couple of four-wheelers out there. They were getting on four-wheelers, and they were running around, and they were trying to see who could capture the most armadillos
Yeah.
and possums.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was crazy. And so it kind of grossed me out because I've always thought that possums, they just look like they crawl out of the bowels of hell.
Really?
Yes.
Not an armadillo.
They're not as creepy looking.
No. You put an armadillo next to a possum, the armadillo looks like the villain.
No, I don't. I disagree.
Yes.
No, I don't. I think the possum all day long.
The
looks like
possum
the
is
villain.
basically it's got a bat face.
The possum is a stuffed animal. Like it's a teddy bear type thing. An armadillo's all got all that crusty shell with the hair coming out from under it.
Yeah, but it
nasty.
just looks like a big roly-poly.
Yeah, it looks like a rock.
Have you
just
been close to
moving
one?
across the? Yeah, I was that night.
Yeah.
I was close to a lot of them.
No.
Now, I will correct you here because I looked up the definition of vermin while we were talking, and it just says wild animals that are believed to be harmful to crops, farm animals, or game, or that carry disease. So the fox could definitely qualify as vermin. But anyway, sorry.
Could.
Yeah. So, but recently, I bring all this up because recently on the possum, I've had a change of heart.
Oh, you should.
Oh, we might be
You should.
along
You
the
know
same
why?
lines here.
Because they eat ticks.
I'm about to tell you why. I'm about to give you 10.
They eat ticks, and you're bad about ticks.
Yes.
You don't even check your body for ticks
Like
after you've
3
been in the
days.
weeds.
4 days.
4 days.
But armadillos don't.
Armadillos
tear up your yard.
They
is what they
do, but they also eat ticks.
I don't.
I've stopped hunting armadillos because of their.
Armadillos tear up your yard. They die.
Oh, and just,
I don't hunt armadillos. I just, play around with armadillos on the road. Have you ever done that? Because they're not in Kansas that much at all.
There are quite a few down there where I'm in southeast Kansas.
No.
I have 4 or 5 on my property alone.
Well, I'm just telling you, you drive around at night in Louisiana where I grew up, you see 4 or 5 and all the time.
I hit so many.
Well, they're a southern animal, but they typically come before the hogs, and so that's why I kind of expect the hogs to show up here pretty soon.
You pull up. You can do this one of 2 ways. You see an armadillo in the road at night. They don't see well. And you pull up and stop. You can stop short if you want, where you're not over top of them, but you can't see them because they're that close to your bumper.
Right.
And then you honk your horn. Well, when they get scared, they jump straight up.
They've got some ups.
They do.
They have some ups.
Way up. So like you like in a truck.
I've never done this.
In Matt's truck, you could stop and honk the horn, and then you will see it like woo, like straight up, higher than the hood, straight up, and then it'll hit the ground. Then it'll run off. Or you could just pull right over top of them and do it too, and then they
Wait for the thud.
They hit right under. They just jump straight up in the bottom of your car, like and then they run off. They have a shell. It's not too cruel.
It's not too cruel.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Possums don't do that though.
No, they play possum.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So, top 10 reasons you should be kind to possums and not think they're from the bowels of hell, even though they look like it, with those black eyes and the pointy nose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or red eyes.
Red or black?
I think they kind of have more red.
When they reflect, I think he's talking when he's staring one in the face.
I don't try to do that.
Yeah.
Did you know that you do need a fur harvester's permit in order to kill a possum? And there is a season
in the state of Kansas.
In the state of Kansas, and there is a season for them because they're apparently their fur is really soft.
And cuddly, which means it's not straight from the pit of hell.
The face for sure is.
Okay.
That's right. Well, number 1, did you know that they are not aggressive?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. That's where they got the, playing possum.
Yeah.
Well, that or they'll get up and they'll just hiss, and if they can't scare you away with that hiss, they just kind of fall over and play dead. But it's all posturing with that animal.
Yeah.
Yep. 2, they rarely have rabies.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Unlike, other wild animals, they can get rabies.
Like bats.
Yeah.
Lots of bat stuff has come from bats.
Number 3,
Batman.
which I believe that, I believe this
Any
should
of them
be
that
number
weren't
1.
Tim Burton.
This should be number 1. They kill thousands of ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So according to stats reported by the National Wildlife Federation, a single possum can potentially eliminate 4,000 ticks in 1 week.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
It's all because of their self-grooming methods. Because ticks get in their fur and they just
Eat them.
pull them out. They either crush them or they eat them. Crush them or consume them. That's pretty awesome. They just got into my, good graces.
Is that the highest rodent to tick killing ratio of all?
I don't know.
I'm going to look up armadillos real quick.
Matt's on it. Possums will not destroy your lawn or your property.
Right, which armadillos do.
Yeah. They are true survivors. They've been around longer than any other mammal, apparently.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Are they talking whales too?
Possums are often called living fossils.
No, they're not. I've been around possums all my life, and I've never heard someone call it that.
They've been able to survive on our planet for millions of years. They've been around since the dinosaurs.
I don't know about that.
Just telling you what I researched here, Chet. You can believe it or not. 6, they help with waste management. Did you know that? They're not picky eaters.
Waste Management is the name of the company that picks up my trash.
Hey, mine too.
I've never seen a possum
Mine too.
help with that.
You've never seen him out there lifting the can or driving the truck?
Not one time. But if I did, I would say, "Hey, living fossil, what's up?
What's up, living fossil?" They're the only marsupial indigenous to North America.
I did know that.
Yeah. It would be a shame if Australia were the only home to marsupials.
It would be a shame, a crying shame.
8, they get rid of garden pests. Again, because they're not picky eaters. 9.
So they don't eat your garden, but they eat things that eat your garden?
Yeah, they eat slugs, beetles, cockroaches, but they will leave the flowers or the vegetables that you're growing undisturbed.
Matt, you need to get some possums out at your place.
They would have to have somewhere to go, and digging in my yard would actually be a help for me.
They don't dig.
Well, I guess I need armadillos out there.
No, you
too,
don't need armadillos.
Just get you a mole.
No, because those are way worse.
Or groundhog.
Well, I can't find the
tick ratio.
the tick ratio that they eat in a night, but
Because they don't.
they do.
I don't think they do.
Armadillos. That's what you were looking up, right? Yeah. I don't know. All right, number 9, they may be the key to battling venomous snake bites.
I thought venom from a venomous snake was the key to battling
Well, the
venomous snake
venom
bites.
of rattlesnakes, cottonmouths, and other dangerous slithery snakes that might be hiding in your yard has no effect on a possum. They can get bit by it. Has no effect. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And number 10, they're actually quite smart. How do we know this? Because they tested with a higher intelligence than more domestic animals like rabbits, dogs, and cats, particularly when it comes to finding good food and remembering exactly where it was to go back for more. So they're smart.
Why isn't that ahead of they're often called living fossils on a top 10 list?
I don't know.
But I don't think they're smarter than a dog.
Have you ever trained a possum?
They're not domesticated for a reason.
Because they're smart.
They don't want to be
They need
controlled.
something dumb.
You can't hold me down.
That's right.
Which means
They don't let the
themselves.
man.
you've been domesticated. So what does that say about you?
I'm not that smart.
Yeah. Okay.
I never claimed to be.
Yes.
But I will say, so on the on your whole thing with Chet calling armadillos vermin because they dig in his yard.
They don't dig in my yard here, but then in Louisiana, it was a deal. Like that was one of my jobs is to rid our property of all the armadillos.
To play with armadillos?
No, rid the property of them.
So I was predator hunting out of my property, and I had my predator call set up, and it was doing. I just had little pack rat noises, like a pack rat in distress or something like that. And I had an armadillo that was walking around, and then I turned on the decoy spinning, and that armadillo went up, and I thought he's just walked right up to the call, and then jumped on it. I'd never before seen that in my life.
So they're not vermin; they're predators.
I didn't think. I was
Apparently, is if you don't like, so vermin would be a mountain lion.
You're a vermin in this office.
I'm a predator.
Oh, is there a Seinfeld episode about this?
Probably.
An opossum?
Just vermin in general? Could be.
Maybe.
Well, that's what I learned. Not to hate things because of the way they look. Don't judge a book by its cover. They could be good for something like eating 4,000 ticks.
I'm at tickcontrol.com under an article, Animals That Eat Ticks, and it does not list the armadillo.
Well, they're wrong. There was a study. Well, they're not wrong. They just left it out. But
Armadillo.
I did. I read a study about that, and I just can't find it.
All right. Well, we'll come back to it. We'll do some research on the
termites,
armadillo.
they cockroaches, grubs, beetles, scorpions, to name a few. They do not mention ticks.
If we have any listeners out there that have some statistics on this,
Only if it supports my view and not Matt's.
All that it says is more than 90% of an armadillo's diet is made up of insects and their larvae. They also feed on earthworms, scorpions, spiders, and other invertebrates. So, tick is an insect.
It's by default.
90% of their diet is insects. I mean, there's got to be ticks in their diet somewhere.
All right. Speaking of ticks, diets, let's transition.
To blood.
Huh? To blood?
That's a tick's diet.
so I want to know when your prediction is on the hogs coming up here, because you said they follow the armadillos.
So that's what I've always heard from everybody that has lived, like in northern Texas or Oklahoma. And it's like, we got the armadillos just right before we got the hogs. And it's just kind of a progression almost. And I don't know if that's a scientific fact or if there was a study and somehow the hogs are pushing the armadillos up because they both root, for their food. So I don't know if hogs outcompete them and then the armadillos just have to keep moving because the hogs outcompete them for food in their area. I don't know. But, we've had armadillos down at my hunting camp, which is in Southeast Kansas. I've had those there for the last 10, 15 years. And it was kind of strange because I asked my buddy, who was the neighbor, about if he'd ever seen any hogs. And he goes, I've never really seen any hogs up here. And then I left and came back home and he texted me that night with a picture and he goes, "You're not going to believe this." And there were 3 hogs at his feeder. And so, and there's, who knows, they could have been farm raised and got out and just went, went feral. But they were down there. So I don't know. But it's only a matter of time anyway, because they're so prolific in the way that they procreate that there's no stopping
They're
them.
taking over.
Yep.
Here they come. Get our helicopters ready.
At least they got some good meat attached to them.
Yes, they do.
The best brats that I've ever made were from a wild hog.
Okay.
Really, really good.
Well, we're speaking of wild hogs and food. It's getting that time of year where we're doing a lot more outdoor cooking. And it's barbecue time.
Oh, yeah.
Barbecue time.
So our top 3 barbecue side dishes. Matt, why don't you let us know?
Oh, you want my top 3
Yeah.
already? Okay. I'll kick it off. Number 3, baked beans. Love baked beans. Now, I don't like, I didn't grow up liking them. I didn't like them through my 20s. I didn't like them through my 30s. But for some reason, within the last year to year and a half, I really enjoy baked beans.
Like, you're going to have to be a little bit more specific.
So growing up, every time somebody like around here would make baked beans, they'd basically just get a can of Bush's baked beans,
Heat them up.
doctor it up a little bit, maybe throw some bacon in there or, whatever, and then serve it. And never liked it. And then all of a sudden, I guess I must have been just really hungry, and baked beans were there, which I normally wouldn't eat. Started eating them, and I was like, you know what? These aren't half bad.
Yeah.
So I just really started enjoying them, and they actually are now on my top 3. I
Okay.
like to have them at barbecues because they're filling. They taste good. I'm not so big on the brown sugar. I don't really like them real sweet.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the problem in the past is people add extra.
Right.
Do you like them with the same bean or with different kinds of beans?
I prefer uniformity in my baked bean.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Put that on a bumper sticker.
that's just more of a. That's just
Is that
more.
Matt's truck? Oh yeah, it's got the I prefer uniformity in my baked bean
I
bumper
prefer-
sticker.
Oh, that's good.
But the the guys over at When Pigs Fly, because you're the one that said that they had some really incredible baked beans over there, and I tried those, and those were actually pretty good. And that
Yeah.
might have started that. They might have actually started my journey towards trying baked beans again.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 2 is real simple: corn on the cob. Got to have it
I like it. Like it.
with toothpicks.
Don't have to have it.
Well, nobody has to have it. Nobody has to have baked bean. Nobody has to have a side with barbecue. It's not a requirement. You can just have the barbecue.
That's true.
Kind of like a shrimp or a crawfish boil. You don't have to have any sides. Just have the crawfish.
It's how it's best.
Now I prefer. Chet doesn't like the mushrooms because they get in the way of the crawfish.
I like having sides with the crawfish boil, but I try not to eat them because I'd rather just fill up on crawfish.
There you go.
I would too, but for some reason when those mushrooms get in that juice, it's so good.
Oh, they are good. Yeah.
And then my number 1, which not too many people do, and it can be confused with coleslaw, is garlic salad.
It's coleslaw with garlic.
It's not,
It is. I just had some the other day.
Here comes the heat, folks.
but it's so good.
Matt's like, have you ever had garlic? I'm like, no. Well, this is the best garlic salad in town since this other place closed down, and this is the place that still has it. It's so good. It's so good. And they brought it out. It's coleslaw with garlic.
So the place that we ate, it was more coleslaw.
Is it seasoned with garlic or is it like got garlic
Well, first,
chopped up in it or something?
it is cabbage, first shredded.
Right. Well, yeah.
But
It's
that
literally coleslaw.
no. Where we ate it was, but at Doc, back in the day at Doc's Steakhouse, it was actually lettuce. It was shredded lettuce, and then that's why it was a garlic salad, because a slaw would be cabbage.
Whatever. I get with you after, and I agree it would be a good side dish with barbecue.
It's so good. But coleslaw,
It's at New Way.
garlic salad, whatever.
If you ever got the hankering for some
And
garlic flavored coleslaw.
And
They have coleslaw at New Way?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Really?
and they've had it for years.
I've only had a crumbly burger like one time.
Yeah, man, right there.
Wasn't a fan.
Y'all are
Native to Wichita loves New Way.
missing
If
out.
you've been anywhere else in your life,
You don't like New Way.
unless you're
Missing
my
out.
parents. My parents loved it. It's like, it's so easy to chew the crumbly burger. Like,
That's all I
Now,
got
I do make crumbly burgers at home. I mean, it's kind of like a sloppy Joe.
without the slop.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you call them sloppy joes or crumbly burgers?
Sloppy Joes all the way.
It's not the same thing.
that's like him calling garlic salad coleslaw. It's different,
Well, no, I agree. Crumbly burger and sloppy Joes are different.
but your terminology is the same.
Hey, go back to your top 3. Come on.
Whatever.
Coleslaw, garlic flavored coleslaw, number 1.
Garlic salad. But anyway, back in the day, Doc's had the best in town, and then all of a sudden, New Way came around, and their recipe, I guess, has somehow changed because it was really close to Doc's.
So, for those that don't know, if you're not from around Wichita, Doc's was a steakhouse. Because it's in past tense. It was off of Broadway, but a very popular establishment that had been around for like 60 years or something like that, as far as I know. I never ate there. But the funny thing about it, coming from outside of Wichita, everybody.
Nobody goes for the steak.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Doc's Steakhouse? I'm like, no, not really. You got to go and try their salad. Like this garlic salad it's so good. And I'm like, but the place is called Doc's Steakhouse. Are the steaks good?
They're all right.
Get the salad. They're just.
Well, it's
I'm
like Oak and Pie. They got some pretty good pizza, but their salads, dude, they're awesome.
Oh, really? But
Yeah.
Are their pies good?
Yeah, they're good,
Yeah.
but I go for the salads. And they have like a Italian nachos deal.
I never heard anybody bring up steak at Doc's Steakhouse.
No,
Like nobody.
you're either going for the single, the double, or the triple garlic salad. 3 scoops.
You're not
2
going at
scoops,
all
or 1
because they didn't
scoop.
make it.
Yeah.
They closed.
Anyway,
They couldn't sell enough steaks. So they had to close.
that's my number 1 is garlic salad.
All right, I'll go next. My number 3, fried potatoes,
I like a fried potato.
and that's a disc,
Like a chip.
Not chips.
A thick disc.
Thick disc of potatoes that's a little crispy on the outside but tender on the inside.
I made some of those the other night.
Those are fantastic.
We had crappie and had to cook up some
Fish and chips.
Taters.
fried taters. Yep.
So number 2, fried okra.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a good compliment to the just about to any dish.
That's
And barbecues.
you make your own?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got a solution for you. I've got okra in the garden this year.
Do you?
Mm.
That's the only way.
mine
That is
too.
the only way I'll eat okra, by the way.
If you fry it yourself.
If
Or just fried?
Yeah. It doesn't belong anywhere else.
Not-
but in the
I
fryer.
can't think of anything else where
You don't put it in your gumbo?
Huh? No.
I put it in.
But you put tomatoes in your gumbo too?
No.
Hey, keep it out.
Put okra in there,
it
though.
out.
It's
No.
good.
Nope.
I like okra, but I think in a,
No seeded vegetables go in gumbo. You don't have tomatoes with their seeds floating around in there. Or your
I think it would be too
okra
soggy.
with those seeds. Yeah, it's gross. It's slimy. Yeah.
It's
That's-
not uniform.
That's over there towards New Orleans where they start putting all that other crazy stuff in there. All right. Number one.
It's not uniform.
Number 1, beans and potato salad is together. They belong together with barbecue. So your bite of potato salad should actually have beans.
A little bit of bean
on it. Yes. They go together. And the beans just can't be beans, like canned beans.
They got to be
or-
doctored up.
No. Let me clarify this for everybody. It's more important what you take away on beans than what you add. So
Okay, yeah, I can see
if
that.
you are if every one of you out there, listen, this is going to change your world when it comes to barbecue side dishes. If you're one of those individuals, and I'm not going to shun you, but if you're like, ooh, I'm going to doctor up some beans, and this is kind of what Matt was talking about, right? I'm going to take a can of Van Camp's and I'm going to dump them in a pot, and I'm going to add some brown sugar, and I'm going to add some Tony, some seasoning, a little heat maybe.
Little
and
Tonys.
I'm going to probably put in a little bit of barbecue sauce to make it a little more tangy or whatever else. You have messed up. You've already messed up because you dumped what was in the can into your pot. Let me tell you what will 100% improve your bean experience with all your barbecues. You take the can of beans and you dump them into a colander and you rinse them off. You get every bit of liquid that those things were stored in the can away from the bean. And then you just take your bean, and that's what you're going to cook with. And then you add your stuff. You could add your barbecue sauce. You could add your whatever, your seasonings. And brown sugar in this case melts down and helps thicken up, makes a good sauce. I like my beans, I do a sweet heat. So
I don't like sweet
I'm just telling you,
except for dessert
You're sweet enough.
and in my tea.
it's your nose will run from the heat, but it doesn't have a harsh. It's a mellow flavor on the tongue, on the palate. It's they're good, and you should be adding some form of meat to that mixture as well. A bean deserves some meat, but then you throw that in with some potato salad. They need to be side by side or in the same little compartment of your little red solo
So you
plate.
can mix them up.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't mix them.
Just on your fork.
Yeah.
Do you like Frank's in your beans?
Beanie weenies.
Right, Ted Bates.
Do you like it?
I've eaten a can of beanie weenies in my day.
I'm just saying, if somebody added hot dog to their,
I would say for the kids, but if you're an adult, just go ahead and put some sausage in there, smoked sausage.
what about pulled pork? Pork and
yeah,
beans,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
brisket,
I typically
bacon.
mine would be pulled pork and sausage would be in my baked beans.
So this year when we were deer hunting in Kentucky, we got a bunch of smoked bacon, and we were using that to process some of our meat, and they just gave us the bacon ends from the bacon that they made, just the chopped off portion to square off a slab of bacon. And we used that, and I had so much left over that we had barbecue one night, and I made beans, and I just threw those in there, and it was super good.
Yep. I learned that from my buddy Randy Cantrell, by the way.
Washing the beans?
Yeah. You got to get rid of that water. It's water.
Yeah.
And you don't need water. No.
Yeah. Always rinse beans.
Yep. Take it all off.
Noted.
Yep.
All right, Troy, what you got?
All right, number 3, sweet potato salad.
What?
It's potato salad, but I like it a little sweeter.
But not with sweet potatoes.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Good clarification there.
Man.
I should say regular potato salad that's made a little sweeter. So the ingredients are a little sweeter.
So of the potato salads that are out there,
So-
is this a mustard base or a mayonnaise base?
Mayonnaise base.
Yeah.
So it's like what I mean by sweeter is you probably use Miracle Whip instead of Hellman's,
Okay.
right? To make it a little sweeter.
Not in my house. Miracle Whip is not allowed in my house, according to my
Oh,
wife.
I know. I know about that. Yeah. But yeah, because regular potato salad for me, if it's not spicy, if it's just regular, it's a little bland. So I like a little sweet added to it
Yeah.
or spice.
Okay.
I like the mustard base with a little bit of garlic.
You threw me though, sweet potato salad. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That would be new.
That would
that
be
would
not
be
good,
new.
or somebody would be doing it already.
Might have to try that.
No.
I don't know.
I don't like sweet potatoes anyway, but
I'm
Me
gonna
either.
I'm gonna try it. I'll report back. All right, number 2.
I don't like sweet potatoes either. I'm sorry to interrupt,
No, go ahead.
but I'm going to serve them to Matt next time I get an opportunity because you don't like them, and you always do crap I don't like put olives on pizza and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I'm just not going to eat. You always have the choice just not to eat.
I love sweet potatoes.
My whole family likes them. You know, my mom,
They're
my
like
dad,
candy.
my brother, my wife, my kids.
Only when you put brown sugar on them.
No, they still taste like candy
they
without
don't.
them. To me, they do.
To me, I think it's more of a texture thing. I just don't like that. It's almost like it should be zucchini, but then it's sweet. It doesn't make sense to me.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. Troy.
No worries. Number 2, garlic Texas toast.
Dude,
I do like
Love
some-
it.
that is a good call. Like every good barbecue plate
You got to be able
needs
to
to
mop
have,
it up.
have a minimum of one slice of Texas toast on that
You
thing.
got to be able to mop it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I use it for. Just clean the plate.
Dude, that Barbecue City, it's probably called Hot Rods when you were in Ruston.
Yeah.
They had the professional buttered Texas toast machine. You ever seen that with
yeah.
the big wheel spinning on
Yeah,
top?
they just slap it on there.
Oh yeah.
Rolls.
Marcus, I want two slices. Just give you the nod. Okay.
Yeah. It's good stuff. All right, number 1, fried okra.
Hey.
Yep, I gotta have it. I had barbecue today and I had fried okra. When I make it myself though, I don't bread it like they do at all the restaurants.
Really?
Yeah.
You just cut it up and fry it?
I slice it. Well, I do bread it, not in the sense that they do it. I roll it in white cornmeal.
Yep.
That's bread. Okay.
But it's not like thick breading.
It's not like the frozen stuff that you get.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like a light.
There's more
breading
There's
that-
more okra to breading ratio.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like when you look at it, it doesn't even look breaded.
I'm with you. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's sometimes when we fry okra when I'm cooking fish, you just use the cornmeal fish batter on the okra, and it comes out just like that.
And it tastes so much better than the thick breaded stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go buy some white cornmeal out there and try it yourself. It's amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
I can get behind that. That's a little more gluten friendly than the Texas toast.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is.
All right.
All right. That's a good top 3.
Moving on to a good word. Matt.
We just moving straight on in today.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We're just flowing.
Feel the
Don't-
flow.
Don't let the flow go.
That's right.
Don't let your soul glow. What movie? What movie?
That's like Coming to America.
There you go.
All right. So we are back in the Chosen Book 2, 40 Days with Jesus, and on day 9 or chapter 9. And the good word today comes out of Matthew 6, 9 through 13, which is what you two probably know right off the top of your head.
I do not. I'll go ahead and admit that.
Go for it, man.
So basically the Lord's Prayer. So Jesus is giving instructions on
How to pray.
how to pray.
Yeah.
And it says, pray then like this: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have also forgiven our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. I believe that's the, I don't know what version that is, but I'm more attuned to the King James version. Thy, you know, but
That was probably the ESV. That's what it looked like. What it sounded like.
could be. But what they talk about in there is, you know, how prayer just feels like a one-way conversation a lot of times. And, you know, it's easy not to, you really don't know what to say or how to say it. And you just kind of, you know, throw some stuff up and let it throw some stuff up. You just
puke something up to the Lord.
You just kind of word vomit to Jesus. But
Sometimes it can feel like that.
it can, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, and so they recommend going to a quiet place, and, you know, they're saying that prayer is not for show. And, you know, there's a lot of people that get up in front of an audience, you know, per se, and they do this fantastic prayer for, you know, and it's just like, man, you know, that was awesome, but that's not what prayer is really about. You know, it's, he wants you to go away to a secluded, quiet place and speak to him in private. And that's what his instructions were. It's not for show, and it's obviously great to pray with a group and worship with a group, because that's what the church is. But your time and your relationship with the Lord really comes through reading his word and prayer, and then listening to him. And it's, you know, it's not, and that's where we kind of get wrapped up, you know, because it's hard because we're not listening with our ears. You know, it's not something, we're not going to hear an audible answer from him a lot of the time, right? There could be some cases out there, but it's hearing what he's saying. And, you know, it says a quiet place, but a lot of times, you know, on my way to work, or, you know, just when I wake up in the morning, you know, just a quick, hey, man, thanks for letting me wake up today. You know, just start off with prayer and get used to praying on a regular basis, you know, and if something happens, it's always internal for me. You know, It's not something that is external that I'm talking about all the time, you know, and so something good happens. I mean, hey man, thank you, Lord. I appreciate that. That's awesome for looking out for me like that. And so, good word for today is just prayer.
Yeah. And
Go ahead.
Well, you made me think, one of my favorite passages is Romans 8. And a lot of times in growing up in the Christian faith, it's prayer is one of the things I think that, I don't know, for me, it's been hard at times. And, you know, you have examples, there's books everywhere. But one of the things I was really comforted by in Romans 8, like, what should I say, right? How do I even know what to pray for? We, you know, joked about the word vomiting up, you know, I'm just going to say a whole bunch of words and I really don't even know. But, and if Romans chapter 8, it's a fantastic chapter, the Great Eight, I've heard it referred to as. But it in Romans chapter 8, verse 26, it says, in the same way the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And he who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes. The Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. So in this case, and it's kind of in the context of that, there's a lot of moaning and groaning just because of our struggles of what's going on, and that we don't know what to say, but we could actually not even say anything and just groan or cry out, and the Spirit can intercede for us because the Spirit knows us, and then it will intercede for us in that prayer. So you don't even have to have words. I think it's more of and kind of like you were mentioning, Matt, of direction, right? My focused direction right now is seeking help. And I don't even know how to put that into words. And you don't have to know how to put that into words. The Spirit can intercede for you in that.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Because a lot of times you can be in a place and you don't even know where to start. You know, you're just like, I need help.
Right.
You know, and that could be a simple prayer right there. Just, I need help.
What's that song? Just Say Jesus. Y'all heard that one?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I figured y'all hadn't heard that one.
Yeah, I don't.
Some of our listeners probably have. It's just like whenever you're in need, like all you need to do is just say Jesus.
In a kind way.
Well, yes, of course. Not in a derogatory term, but yeah, just saying Jesus, getting yourself focused on him and knowing that he is your hope. And just by saying Jesus and just closing your eyes and praying with no words, basically like what you're saying, just get you in the mindset of he is my only hope. He is the only one that can help me right now. So I'm just going to say Jesus. Yeah. So
I like it.
Yep. Doesn't matter how it comes out. He's listening. Or if it doesn't even come out.
he knows.
He knows.
Yep.
All right.
Which is another song. He knows.
Oh, you know what? You know that one?
Hey.
He lives. There's another one.
Yes.
Because he lives.
Because he it's is it because he lives or just he lives?
No, there's a He Lives as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to sing it for you.
Because he lives.
There's that one. There's another one, but after we get done recording. Because I don't sing for free. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, he walks to me and talks to me along this narrow way. You probably are still recording.